Alright, Comer Alexa, as you know Maron is sick once again, so he needs you to step up and create some content for the channel until the Jillies Award show is released Royal Rumble weekend. Is that okay with you?
That's no problem at all. I've had a video I've wanted to do all year, and now it's time for me to do it. I'm about to be brutally honest about the worst women's wrestling figures of the year.
Excellent. May I request you please keep the foul language to a minimum? I know Maron would not want curse words in his video.
Holy shit, girls. I can't stop coughing. Oh.
I'm okay. No worries. I'll just edit those out in post-production.
Welcome to Comer Alexa Pops Off, where I give my honest opinions. Today I'll be breaking down my top 5 worst women's wrestling figures of 2022. Truth being told, there weren't a lot of stinkers this year, but there were many WTF decisions made and I was able to make a list of 5. So let's get started. At number 5 I chose WWE Elite Series 94 Stephanie McMahon. Here's the thing, this is not a horrible figure, but may I ask why we needed this? It's extremely boring, and would have been better suited in the basic line. I know fans of the Attitude Era were happy about this figure, but if we are talking Attitude Era women, why not get a figure of Jacqueline Moore, Ivory, Victoria, or Sable, just to name a few? I mean, look at her shirt. SMH. That sums up exactly how I feel about this figure's release. Shaking my head. At number 4 I chose AEW Unrivaled Series 11 Penelope Ford. Once again, I do not think this is a terrible figure, just terrible decisions were made when making this figure. First off, look at this face scan. It looks nothing like her. It looks like a generic figures toy company face. Did they even scan Penelope at all? On top of that, the hair sculpt is totally inaccurate. It should be in dual braids like what was shown on the box, but instead it is generic, just like the face. Oh, but they spent plenty of time going all out on the butt sculpt. I swear the sculptors with Jazzwares just discovered what a female body looks like and spend all the time on the backside sculpts. What? Was this not good enough to use on Penelope? Like, really? They spent more time on this than the details of the figure that matter. Mayor Aaron was so excited to get a Penelope figure, but in my opinion this figure lives up to her nickname. This is super bad. At number 3 I chose WWE Legends Series 14 Chyna, one of the most boring elites of the year. I don't think anyone needed the 5th Chyna in the last few years. This figure lived on the Target pegs for months. They should have been charging her rent for all the time she spent there. The worst part of this figure was when you put on her undersized fist hands. They look like horse hooves. Not a lot to say about this boring figure, so let's move on. At number 2 I chose a bit of a surprise with WWE Basic Series 131 Bianca Belair. Here's the thing, we love Bianca Belair in LumberJillville. She embodies what this channel is all about, but let's be honest, she deserves so much better with her figures. There has been a real lack of effort put into arguably the top women's superstar in the WWE. This body sculpt does not work. I repeat, this body sculpt does not work. She has had multiple different sculpts used on her basics, and even elites, which have all been extremely underwhelming. Why can't we get a unique body sculpt in basic, an elite form for Bianca that shows her physique? Jade Cargill got a unique sculpt in the AEW line, and look how fantastic that figure is. If you are going to make unique body sculpts for Otis, James Ellsworth, Omos, and the list goes on, then make one for Bianca, period. And easily the worst women's wrestling figure of 2022 is the Rosemary Rising Stars of Wrestling by Figures Toy Company. This figure is an abomination. Instead of purchasing this for over $30, you might as well take $30 and flush it down the toilet. Plus, you won't have to pay shipping by flushing your money away. This is the first time in LumberJillville Mayor Aaron and I both felt completely ripped off by a company. This figure took many years to release, and I'm not holding that against it. But let's be honest, a novice figure customizer could make a better Rosemary figure in less than a day. They had a lot of time to iron out the flaws, and what they did was release this figure to the public in what feels like an unfinished stage of production. The joints are loose, the face is generic, the hair is wrong, and the body sculpt is the same sculpt FTC has used on every single female wrestler they have released in this line. This figure is cheap and a complete and utter ripoff. Sure, tons of people are going to be grateful to have a Rosemary figure. She is great, but I would suggest commissioning a customizer over purchasing this figure. And that's my list. Let me know in the comments if you want more videos hosted by me. I would love to rub those comments in Mayor Aaron's face. Next weekend, which is Royal Rumble weekend, we will be premiering the 3rd annual Jilly's Women's Wrestling Figure Award Show on Sunday, January 29th. Make sure to tune in and see what figures win awards, and which one was voted by all of you as the figure of the year. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Duckface deuces everyone.